lovers, it is gswiz here, and I am here today to do a 7 on Sunday. 7 on Sunday is hosted by me. I have a Goodreads page where you can check out all the weekly prompts so that you can participate yourself. So if you want to join in on a 7 on Sunday, go do that. But if you just want to watch, that's okay. This week we're going to be talking about Booktubers' favorite books. Do you ever go to a bookstore or look on your bookshelf and think, oh yeah, that person recommended it to me because it was their favorite book? Or, man, that's so-and-so's favorite book and I'm happy that they appreciate it a lot. Sometimes it's easy to associate books with many booktubers. Like, for example, I couldn't put Harry Potter on this list because that is everybody's favorite book series on BookTube. Well, technically, I don't know. It's not everybody's favorite book series. It's not my favorite book series, but it's definitely one of those that have impacted me. But it is many people's favorites, and I don't know who exactly to associate Harry Potter to specifically. So I couldn't put Harry Potter on this list. I couldn't even put anything from Sarah J Maas on this list or Rick Riordan from this list because I associate those series with many people. I would say, yeah, you know, when I look at Throne of Glass, I think of many booktubers, but I couldn't think of one that stood out to me. Whereas this might be a different situation for you. Maybe you think of a specific booktuber when you think about any of the series or any of the authors that I've just mentioned. Well, I think of too many, so I couldn't put them on this list. However, these books that I put on this list, I usually think about a lot of people, how they've read them and how they've loved them, but I mostly think about this one specific booktuber associated with this book because they either talk about it on their channel a lot or it influenced them in such a way that it either forced me to pick the book up myself or it makes me appreciate their love for it so much. Them talking about it is influencing me in so many ways because they love it and it actually inspires me to talk about my favorite book series regardless of whether people like it or not. So yeah, I guess without further ado, I'm going to be talking about 7 booktubers and their favorite books. I've got to talk about a booktuber who got me into this series because it's one of their favorite series. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure every single person who watches this specific booktuber associates this series with this booktuber. You know, they talk about this book series a lot. They've even made a book tag associated with it. Actually, that was in team with another booktuber who I will actually do an honorary mention for because I love both these people. So yeah, there's gonna be 8 booktubers but 7 books. So the book I'm gonna be talking about is Akarnae by Lynette Noni, and I associate this book with Jenna at just a little bit random, but also I associate this book with Kaysia at Books K. I'm so happy that they got me into the series. They got me really hyped up to read the series. I actually still have not yet read Vardasia. Even though I did not like Grey Veil, or I did not like how Grey Veil ended, I really do want to give Vardasia a shot and see how everything resolves from there. I have all the books on my shelf and I've had such a really fun time with this series, but also a really fun time gushing about the series and going to the bookish events for the series and just hearing so much more about the Madoran world. I mean, you know you're in the right bookish squad when everybody just raves about the stuff that you want to hear about in books, and I just honestly love hearing everything about the series. I've actually read all of the books twice over except for Vardasia. I've obviously haven't read Vardasia, but that being said, I really love Akarnae, I love Raylia, and I love Dracora. I especially love Dracora. I understand that a lot of people might find it to be a side quest, but no, Dracora is really good. That book initially really hooked me onto the series. This is an Australian YA hit. I'm pretty sure the Madoran Chronicles are now getting published in the US. That is really exciting. It's good for people who are just transitioning from middle grade reading into YA. I'm happy that it's one of their favorite series. I'm happy they got me into it, and I love it every single time they mention it on their channels. I love them both. So obviously whenever I look at Akarnae, I think of my good friends who recommend it to me. Jenna and Kaysia, I miss you so much. Please come back. Actually, no, you have to stay home. Alright, next book series I'm going to be talking about is the book series I associate my bookish bestie with. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. Vampire Academy. So fun fact, I have not read Bloodlines, and I think I really do want to read Bloodlines. However, I do not want to own the books because I hate the book covers so much. I told myself I would only buy Bloodlines if they changed the book covers, and I don't ever really think that they're going to change the book covers. I actually don't mind these VA covers. You know why? Because they have coordination to them. I love the spines. They all have their different numbers, so even though the front cover doesn't look the greatest, the coordination is the best. These covers, however, not a big fan of. I'm just not. I do understand that Bloodlines probably won't reflect how they look on their covers. I might just listen to the audiobooks of Bloodlines and I might just enjoy them if I do crave another paranormal story. That being said, there are a lot of times where I have the urge to reread Vampire Academy. And fun fact, I was never really a big fan of vampires to begin with. I actually have never read Twilight. A lot of people might be so shocked, but it's true. But I was never really into vampires. And the reason why I read Vampire Academy was because I liked the structure of it. They were in a school, there were 2 two different factions of vampires, and it wasn't even just about vampires. It was also about vampire guardians, and it was a lot different to the sound of Twilight. People do associate them both together because obviously they have to do with vampires, but they're completely different. So that is why I gave it a shot. I actually read Vampire Academy before I met Kat. I adore Kat. Kat is now my booktube bestie, and I just want to see her all the time, and I really wish I could go to Melbourne this year, but I can't go to Melbourne this year. VidCon's not happening. Pretty sure every single time we think about each other, we think about each other's favorite books. I always think of Vampire Academy when I'm with her, when I'm talking with her. She doesn't even just promote Vampire Academy. She doesn't even just promote Bloodlines for that matter. She also talks about some of other Rochelle Mead's series. I'm trying to remember. Game Board of the Gods? Is that what it's called? Hopefully I got that right. She keeps on promoting that as well. That is also another series that I'm very much intrigued in. I love her passion every single time she talks about Rochelle Mead's books. And seriously, every single time I see Kat or I talk to Kat, I just want to reread Vampire Academy. That's how much of an urge I have. That's how much of an impact she has on me. Oh my goodness, guys, I realized 5 out of the 7 on this list I associate with Aussie booktubers. How amazing is that? So the next person I'm going to be talking about, if you know Aussie booktube at all, you'd know Red Rising by Pierce Brown is associated with Piera Ford. I'm pretty sure Piera Ford is the reason why a lot of people have started Red Rising, picked it up, have even liked it. Might also be the reason why people have tried it and they put it down. I don't know. Red Rising is not necessarily for everyone, and that's understandable. I haven't actually continued on with the series. I've read the first trilogy. I have not read Iron Gold because I've heard such mixed feelings about Iron Gold. People don't like Iron Gold because they don't like Darrow in Iron Gold. That's crazy because not many people like Darrow in Red Rising either, but hey, we pushed through it anyway. Regardless, I am so happy I read Red Rising because of Piera. I also read Nevernight because of Piera. Funnily enough, when I think about it, I also read Strange the Dreamer because of Piera. Every single time a new Sarah J Maas book is out, I have to watch Piera's reviews on them. I trust Piera's opinion. There are many books I actually associate with Piera, but I think the one I associate with Piera the most, even though a lot of people will say Nevernight since she did play Mia, is Red Rising. Red Rising is a book series that she will not shut up about, and I'm happy. I'm living for it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I first heard about this series on Catty-tastic's channel, and she really liked it, but the person who really convinced me to pick it up, even though I think I had bought the books previously, the person who was just telling everybody to urgently pick it up was Piera Ford. I have her to thank for that because I think about Red Rising and I think about happiness. Even though it's tragic, I think about happiness. The next book I associate with a specific booktuber. She's a friend of mine. I love you, Alex. Yes, I pretty much spoiled it. I think about Alex, aka a zombie booktuber.
My bad, she actually goes by Alexandra Reads right now. Sorry, Alex.
Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. Now, I purchased all the books a year ago. I've wanted to read this book series for around 5 years now. I finally read Poison Study this week, and I love it. I really love Poison Study. And if I were to be real, it doesn't really get hyped up anymore. But someone who continuously talks about it, continuously admires it, is my friend Alex. I'm so happy that she continuously hypes it up because I wouldn't have read it. I would have probably forgotten about it and just disregarded it if I didn't know it was one of my friend's favorite books. But OMG, I'm so happy that I finally read this book because it's really good. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I read it after my Divergent hangover. I think that's when I would have needed it the most. That's probably when I would have liked it the most as well. I mean, even though I read it in 2020, it kind of makes me a little bit nostalgic of that time. When I say that I really wish I read it around that time, it's because I felt like I would have really needed something like this at that time. I kind of wish that this book series got me into fantasy. I read the Grisha trilogy and I was just like, it took Throne of Glass to get me into fantasy. I understand the parallels between the two. Yeah, you know, there are a little bit of similarities, but they're so different. They really are so different, and people need to stop comparing them because they're so different and so good. Anyway, that is what I have to say about Poison Study. Alex, you probably don't know this yet, but you've converted me to the dark side. I read it this week and I'm obsessed with Poison Study. The final Aussie booktuber I've got to mention before I mention any international people is a special friend of mine who I actually went with to a special author event for this specific author because he was releasing a new book, and this is one of her favorite books of all time, and she talks about it on her channel a lot. I'm so thankful that she has talked about it on her channel because I don't think I would have picked it up if it wasn't for her, also if it wasn't for meeting the author either. And I love this author. This author is one of the people I felt the most comfortable with, and I'm so happy that I was there with Catriona. Yes, I did, just spoiled it. Yeah, so I'm talking about Catriona here, and I'm talking about The Book Thief. I'm so happy she got me into this book. Yes, I got this book signed by Marcus. I mean, look how cool that is. He's just like, "Dear Grace," and then puts a love heart in there. Love. Marcus is exactly. I'm still blushing from that day. I cannot get over the day I met Marcus Zuzak, even though I met Veronica Roth a month beforehand, and that was still like probably the best night of my life. I'm so happy that soon after I got to experience Catriona meeting her favorite author.
I forgot to mention that Marcus Zuzak turned out to be at the Veronica Roth event, but incognito. Like, nobody knew he was there, and then all of a sudden Catriona spotted him in the crowd, and so it was a very special night for both of us. I cannot believe I even forgot about that too. That was just amazing. It was a random fun fact, but yeah, actually, we technically met our favorite authors on the same night, but then went to the Marcus Zuzak event a month later. Yeah, I don't know why. I just thought I'd mention that. It was just hilarious.
I think it was also special because we both got to experience the different nights together. She got to see me gush and freak out in front of my favorite author, and I got to see her do the same thing soon after, and that was really exciting. So he was doing his Bridge of Clay book tour, and I love Bridge of Clay. It's a very unpopular opinion. Not too many people like Bridge of Clay because it's so different from the Book Thief, but I really do love Bridge of Clay. He even narrates the audiobook. The audiobook is so good because it has his narration, and it just feels so wholesome. Every single time I think about Bridge of Clay, I think about wholesome feelings. I've been watching Catriona since I got into Booktube, and it's so wild that we're friends now. Even though I haven't really been hanging out with everybody in the Bookish crew in a while because of Anhedonia and stuff, I think about the Bookish crew a lot, and I think my time has come. Even though isolation's keeping me back, my time has come. I am so excited to go back to book events and hang out with my bookish friends again because that would be amazing. I think it's just really wild, man, that I went from being nervous at specific book events to all of a sudden merging and hanging out with my friends. They're now my friends. Catriona is one of the few booktubers in our group, and The Book Thief is a book that I've seen her love and talk about for years, and then I finally picked it up and it changed my life. The Book Thief is a life-changing book. You need to read it if you have not yet. It is something that I recommend, but I really have to thank Catriona for that. So the sixth series that I have to talk about is a book series that I can't stop associating this specific booktuber with because I got into their booktube channel and really actually got into this series more and more the more I watched their booktube channel. I'm talking about Emma from Emma Books, and that's the Shadowhunter chronicles, really. And I guess you can say we're starting off with Mortal Instruments. The Mortal Instruments is a book series that she is obsessed with, and I love that she is obsessed with it because honestly she's got me into so many Shadowhunter-y things. I swear to God, I would not have read Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy if she didn't tell me to, and I'm really happy I read that novella collection because it changed my life. But also, I cannot believe I read Chain of Gold before I read Ghost of the Shadow Market, guys. I just finished the Ghost of the Shadow Market this week. So yeah, I have Emma Books to thank a lot, and I really love how she makes Shadowhunter-y videos. Like, she's just so into the fandom. I love that about watching her channel. Every single time I was just in Shadowhunter fever, which I actually am right now. So I actually just need to sit down and watch more of Emma Books' videos because that's what she does the best. Final book that I gotta talk about right now. Book series, in fact. It's a book series that I associate with one of my favorite booktubers of all time. I love this specific booktuber because she's just so freaking relatable. I mean, a lot of booktubers are relatable. They all live real lives, you know? But I really love this specific booktuber, and I'm really happy that she got me into this series because just like the other booktubers that I've mentioned, every single time I watch their booktube channels, like, I have some sort of fever for this series. Like, I've gotta keep watching these videos so I could just listen to someone gush about the series when I need someone to gush about it too. That, my friends, is Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, and I'm talking about Whitney from Witty Novels. So Shatter Me is a guilty pleasure series for me. I wouldn't say it's guilty pleasure necessarily for the romance, even though, yeah, that's part of the reason, but also it's a dystopian romance, and I really do love dystopia. And whenever I think about the series, I think of all the things that I guiltily pleasure, and it's just all in this series. I haven't read Imagine Me yet. I don't actually own Imagine Me. In fact, every single time I see it on sale due to current shipping circumstances, it's always 40 Australian dollars. In hardback. Seriously? 40 bucks? 30 bucks is understandable, even though that's still too much. 30 bucks is understandable, but 40 is ridiculous. So I still haven't read the final book in the series yet. I do not own it yet. However, I love this series so much, and I'm actually very happy that this series continued. We are introduced to more characters, that we have more time with these characters, that these characters still live, and hopefully, I mean, I haven't read Imagine Me yet, but hopefully we actually get an epilogue this time, you know? But if we don't, I expect this to be a 9-book series. Thank you, Tahara. So, I guess this is gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you want to purchase any of these booktubers' favorite books, you can via the Book Depository links down in the description. You can purchase them, you can help me out by doing so, and also check out all of their channels. All of their channel links will also be down in the description for your liking. If you have not subscribed to them yet, like if you haven't subscribed to them yet, what are you doing? Subscribe to them. Also, another side note, if you do want to join 7 on Sunday, once again, this is a reminder to check out the Goodreads page down in the description. And if you're planning to post a 7 on Sunday, or you've already posted a 7 on Sunday, do not forget to post that in this week's thread on Twitter so I can see all of your videos. And I also have social medias. I'm at gswizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswiz. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.